running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up?
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for tuning into another episode of My Story, My Strength 365-Day Challenge, a place that I created for myself to celebrate my healing and to honor those who are still in their healing journey and let them understand that healing is not easy, but it is possible and it is very much worth it. So, just a trigger warning, this episode contains detailed personal accounts of emotional abuse, humiliation, body image issues, rejection, toxic romantic dynamics, and public disrespect. It may be distressing for survivors of psychological manipulation, relationship degradation, or those who've experienced being shamed for how they look. Listener discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised. Please take care while listening or watching. And if you need to take a break, walk away, find a support system, just make sure that your healing comes first, okay? So, I was never really good at picking people who should be in my life and people that I need to release. I've always wanted to believe that there was good in every person. I found something, something in you that I know that you're good, and that they just needed the opportunity to show that the good would outweigh the bad. I had to learn that even though there are good in people, there's good in a lot of people. Some just want to stay in that negative, and for that, I should have just released them with love and found a circle of people who wanted to show me the good that this world has to offer, instead of me trying to fight to pull it out of them. This topic is about a person who I've always wanted to see the good in, but has always shown me that my kindness showed me why my kindness and my big heart can sometimes get me hurt. It'll talk about certain things that he did to tear me down as a human being and make himself feel what he needed to feel about himself. I met him when I moved to Alaska the last time, and he was everything I thought I liked in a man. His appearance was what I found the most attractive, about anybody I've ever dated. But I didn't see the signs that he showed me in the beginning when he made certain comments or when he did certain things to make me feel uncomfortable. I've always felt like I was too dark, too fat, too ugly, and just not good enough. So when I found him, I thought he actually liked me. And I actually thought he liked me, at the very least found me attractive. I started to feel really good about myself. The time, then he kind of started showing me things that pulled me back, make me feel like he was ashamed of me, made me feel like he didn't, find me attractive or, anything, hiding me in the house, not wanting to do things with me. But there was the time came when he was finally willing to go out in public with me, because his reason was he didn't know how I was going to act, but we all knew the truth. And yes, he was ashamed to take me anywhere. He would only come and see me in private at my house. And that when that day finally came, we went out. I was excited. I was happy that he was really ready to be seen with me outside of a Walmart or a Fred Meyer's, a grocery store, you guys, or Cars, which is another grocery store in Anchorage. We went to a local hip hop awards ceremony where I had tickets for the front row, but he chose to sit in the back with no other than that one family member, of course, who always followed us everywhere and was just always around. So I had to sit in the front and enjoy the show alone. But I was still excited because we were all going to the after party at a local club out there that was really popular. And when we got there, the club was so packed that there were not a lot of parking spaces. We lucked out after driving around for a little while. We found a parking spot that was really close to the front of the club. And at the time then, we picked up my brother who was at the awards with us. So we had my brother, his family member, him, and myself. We were all in the car. He drove. We were getting ready to get out of the car. We were talking about something, I don't remember. And we were getting ready to get out of the car and at least go have a good time. But before we could get out of the car, a woman that he had a similar situation with me, aka was somebody that he just had sex with, but he hadn't had sex with her for a little while because at that time he was living with me. She walks over to my car that he was driving, and she kind of just dangles in the car, hangs inside of the car, showing her titties, got her titties hanging out, not necessarily full titties, but her cleavage hanging out. And he just starts talking to her like I'm not in the car. She does speak to everyone in the car. She wasn't disrespectful. He was, because he just continues to talk to her, not caring how he's making me feel, because again, he knows how I feel about him. He doesn't care about the embarrassment of me having this happen in the car with my brother in the back seat. Just talking to her like everything is okay. Everyone knew. Everyone knew I had feelings for him. And he would always say that he didn't have the same feelings about me, even though he did have those feelings for me. It was like he was ashamed of the fact that he had feelings for me. So he let this woman just talk to him about whatever, like it was okay. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what was said. She said something to me. I said it wasn't like anything disrespectful or wrong, but okay, we'll see you in there and something. And she just, okay, walked away from the car. And then once we were in the club, he kind of stands with his family member over to the side in one little spot while I'm just left to walk around the club by myself. I'm drinking by myself because my brother left. He had a situation with his girlfriend, so he just kind of left me there. And it was just me, him, and his family member, and he just standing over there, like I wasn't there, like we didn't come together. He didn't stay with me. I'm walking outside the club, I'm walking anywhere, everywhere, and he just kind of stood there like he was embarrassed to be with me. So I started drinking. I started, getting drinks bought for me, or I'm buying my own drinks, and I'm just drinking because I'm sitting here trying to hide the humiliation of not only what he just did, but the fact that he wouldn't even hang out with me in this party. He just kind of stayed there, like, because there were other women in the club that he was still interested in, that he had had sex with in the past. And I feel like, it wasn't even, I feel like he did want to still have sex with in the future. And I guess I was cramping his style. He never apologized to me for that. As a matter of fact, he stated that because we were not together and that she didn't really say anything, or they weren't talking about having sex or meeting up, she was just coming over to speak, that it wasn't that big of a deal, just because that was not the case, but not acknowledging the humiliation that he just caused me by doing this in front of somebody that I respected, like my brother. I was allowed to feel the way I felt so that he could feel good. He could feel and look good in front of his family member. So this experience made me internalize the belief that love must have been earned through humiliation, that being seen meant being tolerated, not cherished. I started to believe that I was nothing more than an embarrassment. And I still feel like that about this situation. I'm still working through that one. This is one of the harder ones. But that I was nothing more than an embarrassment and too much for anyone to claim publicly. I was too little to defend in private. Um, okay, I wasn't enough. And I told myself that I needed to change my body and my presence, even my light, to be lovable. That's one of the reasons why I had the gastric sleeve surgery, because I thought I was too big, because I was told that I was the darkest and the biggest person that he had ever been with. And when I see all these girls that he's showing me that's attracted to him, or the one that actually walked up to my car, they're all smaller than me. She actually had surgery to make herself smaller so that she could feel good about herself. I don't know if it was for him, but I just know it happened. Um, but I also felt that I was disposable in love, but useful in secrecy, because he didn't have a problem with being kind to me in private, or when he needed me to be there for him, for his family, to help him with whatever. I was useful then, but when it came to him showing that love to me in public, my voice, my needs, and my hurt did not matter as long as he was comfortable. I was expected to stay quiet and smile through it. And it trained me to feel that visibility came with punishment. Because when he did finally take me out, he humiliated me. That I had to beg to be acknowledged and apologize just for wanting to be treated like I mattered. Just because I want to feel pretty. So my question to you is, have you ever stayed silent in the face of humiliation because you were afraid of speaking up and what that would cost, that it would cost you even the scraps of attention that you were being given? Because I was only given scraps of attention, like it was hurtful. And it still bothers me, again, because I still have issues with my image. So like I said, this is a touchy one, you guys. So I have the negative mind frame that I was asking for too much by asking for respect, that I was never going to be good enough or pretty enough or anything enough for him to be proud to be with me, that he was going to always and has always hidden me and what he felt about me, truly felt about me from the people that so-called mattered to him. But I had to reframe that because the lie that I believed that I was being treated with dignity was too me being treated with dignity was too much. That was a lie. I should not have to be asked to be treated with respect. The lie that I should be accepted. I should accept invisibility just as much just to have him near me. But I know now that anyone who is ashamed to be seen with me is unworthy of standing beside me. Anybody who doesn't think that I'm the most beautiful person in the world needs to find someone that they feel that way about. That their silence was not proof of my shame, it was proof of their cowardice. I no longer see myself through the lens of their discomfort. I am not too much. I was never too much. So the affirmation that I have for myself is I do not shrink for the comfort of those who cannot handle my brilliance. I am not a secret to be hidden. I am a light meant to be seen. I deserve public love, vocal protection, and visible worth. Whew, okay, now the bad is over. Now I can come back down and do this coping session with you guys so that it can help me get back to my grounding. And this mini session is called anchoring safety. It's an anchoring safety technique. This NLP programming tool helps you mentally return to the safety and empowerment of where you were when you were triggered by the feelings of rejection or invisibility. Not where you were, but to get you out of those feelings. So first, you need to close your eyes and think of a time where you felt empowered, strong, or seen. Picture every detail: what you wore, who was there, what was said, and how it felt. And as you feel that strength rising in your body, press your thumb and your forefinger together. Keep pressing them and inhale deeply. Say the word out loud that embodies that moment: worthy, seen, loved, beautiful, queen, happy. And every time you feel humiliated or small, return to that anchor, press your fingers together, breathe, and repeat that power word. This tells your body, I am not there anymore. I am here and I am powerful. You practice this at least twice a day. The more you anchor, the faster your brain rewires that association of safety and worth. So this is the 1 minute empowerment challenge. It's called Replace and Reclaim. And this challenge is, basically you're going to replace and reclaim. You're going to go to a public space today where you previously felt invisible or humiliated. If it's if Even if it's just virtually or symbolically. Scrolling in an old memory, passing in a familiar place, like go online, pick a place that made you feel like you were humiliated. I actually have the ability to do that. Mine would probably be more virtually. I'll have to go and look up pictures and go back to a place where I felt like I was invisible or humiliated. And it takes something you choose: your voice, your look, your posture, and replace that old memory with a new one. Reclaim that space. Walk through it like it's yours. Leave a message there, even if it's internal. Something like, I am not who you tried to erase. I am everything you could never handle. Post a victory statement online or write it somewhere where you'll see it daily. So challenge yourself, do that. Post something. Go on one of your social media pages in a time where you felt unseen, where you felt ugly, fat, or whatever, and post something powerful about yourself in that time. A victory statement, somewhere where you'll see it daily. And now we're on our survivor spotlight. And we're going to spotlight a Miss Jennifer Williams. She entered the public eye through the glitz and drama of reality television. But behind the designer handbags and glossy appearances was a woman battling emotional abuse, betrayal, and deep public humiliation. Born in South Orange, New Jersey, Jennifer was educated, driven, and had a vision for her life long before she appeared on VH1's Basketball Wives. She earned a political science degree and built her own real estate firm, determined to be more than just a basketball wife. But her marriage to NBA player Eric Williams became a public spectacle marked by infidelity, gaslighting, and emotional manipulation. Viewers of the show witnessed moments of cruelty that no one should ever have had to live through, let alone televised. In one of the most infamous scenes, Eric threw a glass of water in her face during an argument, a calculated act of public degradation and emotional violence. The moment was so burned into pop culture, but for Jennifer, the moment was burned into pop culture, but for Jennifer, it was far from entertainment. It was a reflection of the deeper pain she had endured behind closed doors, a pattern of dismissal, disrespect, and psychological abuse. Jennifer's trauma went beyond her ex husband. Even after she left the marriage, she continued to endure emotional betrayal from friendships, romantic relationships, and producers who capitalized on her pain for ratings. She often found herself painted as a bitter or dramatic, when in truth she was a woman fighting to be heard, to be validated, and to survive. But Jennifer did something that many don't see. She chose herself. She left the toxic marriage. She reclaimed her image. She began speaking out about emotional abuse in affluent and high profile relationships, shattering the myth that money, status, or beauty shields Black women from harm. She launched businesses, advocated for women's empowerment, and became a voice for those who feel trapped in emotionally violent partnerships. Emotionally violent. You guys have to hear that word emotionally because it's not physically. Emotional violence is also very, very, very triggering and harmful. So and she made that a point. She's putting that out there, and she never denied her past. She used it. She didn't let her pain define her. She redefined herself. Jennifer is the embodiment of what it means to walk away even when the whole world is watching you stay. She survived humiliation that was replayed over and over on national television. She survived being gaslit into believing she deserves less. She survived the slow erosion of her confidence at the hands of a man who vowed to protect her. But she didn't let that pain bury her. She built on top of it. Jennifer's story is a lifeline for every woman who has felt stuck in a glamorous cage. She is proof that healing is not possible, but it's powerful, public, and necessary. So to Miss Jennifer Williams, thank you so much for refusing to disappear in shame. Thank you for showing that survival doesn't just have to be quiet, that healing can be loud, luxurious, and unapologetically yours. You taught us that emotional abuse deserves just as much attention as physical harm. You gave language to silent pain and permission for women to walk away boldly. We see you, we believe in you, and we honor you. Okay, so thank you guys for that. Just remember though, you guys are not too much. You are not a secret. You're not anyone's shame to carry. And if they're ashamed to show you publicly, then just leave. It's not gonna get better. So if this story touched you in any way, please subscribe to Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors, to hear stories like this every single day, raw, unfiltered, and healing. Also, don't miss my podcast, Insights of a Survivor, every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, as well as my collaboration podcast with Mr. All Love titled Raw and Real, every last Saturday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I already said that, didn't I? Also, my sister, she has a show, my sister in love, Coach Kiss, and her show shows every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, titled The Kiss Corner, where she talks about her real healing in real time. Please, please, please grab my book, Empower, A Place to Belong by Perry Jasper. It is a story about a young girl who had to fight her way out of a world designed to destroy her and found a place in survival. And you can find that on Amazon, A Place to Belong by Perry Jasper. And remember that this is a platform powered by survivors. If you found strength here, please help us continue. Donate or become a sponsor today to help us reach millions of people who feel erased and forgotten. Survivors like myself, All Love, Coach Kiss, and many of the people that you hear me interviewing, like the one I will be showing today on my special anthology episode of Inside Hustle for Survivor, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are all doing the daily work of building a safer world for you and me. And you can help us do that. Okay, all of my links to help support, all of my links to be able to reach me, all of my links to see what I'm doing is in the description of this episode. Please click them, support and healing, and help make space for others who find their freedom. Because your story does not end in pain. It begins in power. I will see you all tomorrow for another powerful day another powerful story of healing and strength. Stay strong. And I love you all.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get